talk to you a little bit about big pharma. So about a year and a half ago, I posted on TikTok this video on your radar in case you ever get prescribed it. It goes by the name Invega, but it's also known as Paliperidone. It has severe side effects, and it gets comments to this day. I had one is that it causes massive enlarging of breasts. Insane, and there's no treatment once it happens. It's completely irreversible even if you go off the drug, and they don't tell you about the side effect. And the other thing that is also important to know is that when you go to see a doctor about the side effects and how to overcome it, they will ignore your complaints potentially, as well as, depending on who you are, make you feel crazy, like there's nothing wrong with you, or that it's something that's genetic that's actually happening to you, when in fact it's a side effect for paliperidone. And the side effects were dire. There is a class action suit against the makers of this medication because of the severe side effects that it caused. And so this is kind of a piggyback to the video, the sort of that I've been talking about, is it's important for you as a consumer, as a person that's living in our culture, to be the expert on your health, right? Your body, your health, your mental health, right? Doctors can prescribe you things. You can take them and determine whether or not they're right for you or not. You can get a second opinion to see if this is really the right move for you, because there might be a medication that's better than the one they prescribe you, or there might be some other alternative to taking the medication. So I often recommend, if you can afford it, going and seeing a functional doctor or a naturopathic doctor, if you absolutely need to. I will also encourage you to get a second opinion if you can, if you have insurance, if you need to go through your insurance. Getting a second opinion can be a really great way to determine if this is the medication for you or not. I think what happens when we get diagnosed with something like maybe cancer or something really serious, we go into panic mode and we're like, I need to get on this treatment protocol ASAP. I'm running out of time. And so we don't go get those second opinions. But medicines can fail us. And this is one of the greatest examples of how the medical industry has failed not just my client, but all of these people that are commenting on these videos of mine on TikTok, that all have had the same experience. And once they've stopped taking the medication, the side effects have not gone away. The side effects are lingering. And these are really, really we live in a dire situation when it comes to healthcare. We can't even get healthcare in our country. And then when we do, this is what's happening. And then we're so caught up in needing that healthcare, that health insurance. And so I've been on my own journey of kind of getting off the grid when it comes to health and medical stuff, and taking care of my own health, and making sure I eat only the things that my body wants and not putting anything into it that it doesn't want, and being very aware of what those things are, and not listening, not trusting what the other people have told me, what I've heard. I don't believe any of it anymore. I grew up in a culture where, at the first sign of sickness, you go to the doctor, you take antibiotics. We are now learning the antibiotics are very bad for us. They're killing the natural bacteria in our bodies. They're making us more sick. right? Where we're going to need more antibiotics to because our body's going to now start contracting more and more disease because we're all on antibiotics. It's not the answer. And you don't have to believe that. That's what I believe for myself and my body. And as a practitioner, that is what I encourage everyone to do, is get in touch with your body. Eat what your body needs, not what your brain thinks your body needs, or what your brain wants, what your ego wants, what your self-soothing soul wants. We're all trying to self-soothe all the time, and we have to have some vices. I get it. We can't just be these perfect balls of, I don't ever have alcohol, or I don't drink coffee, or I don't smoke a cigarette every now and again. I do all of those things. But we got to do it in a way that is aligned with who we are and what's going on with us, because otherwise we're at the whim of the medical industry. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that, and we can't do that anymore, because it's actually making us. So yeah, Risperdal or Paliperidone, it has severe side effects. They use it to treat, I think, schizophrenia maybe, bipolar disorder, some mood instabilities, things like that. But some of the side effects are like glyconomasty, which is like where the boobs get severely enlarged. And this is happening to men too. In fact, the class action suit, I believe, is for men. And it can make you feel extremely, for lack of a better word, crazy. And like they're prescribing these to people to make them feel better. I've talked about this in another video. When one symptom is suppressed, other symptoms express themselves. That is our pharmaceutical industry. They're doing their best in most cases. But a lot of these medications are so new. And what are they doing to our bodies? We are becoming a culture that consumes medications, right? The farming industrial revolution, when it happened at a time when it was very needed. There was a lot of famine happening in the world. And so farming was a solution to famine. Farming helped people make food so that there would be something to eat during famine. Farming created things like corn, rice, wheat. All of those now grow in abundance because we farm. So when we became a farming industrialized culture, we stopped eating some of the more natural foods because we started farming them. And today, because food is farmed, because food is farmed, there's even more, all this like pesticides and greenhouse effect and all of these things that are affecting our food because it's coming from farms, right? We're not eating off the land anymore. We're literally eating food that gets delivered to the grocery store, and we're buying it from the grocery store. And so a lot of us are reading labels, trying to make sure that we don't have the negative ingredients in there, with varying degrees of success, right? But my point is that prior to that, what did we eat? What did we eat prior to farming? That's where we need to get back to. That's where our bodies are still living in that time. They're not really 100% adapted to living in industrialized times. Our minds are fully adapted to this time. We're all on our iPhones, we're all on social media, we're using AI, like we're all up in it. Mentally, emotionally, psychologically. But trust me when I tell you, our bodies have not caught up. Our bodies are way back there, way before the Industrial Revolution. When people were having babies, at the age of 16. That was normal for us, right? We're not having babies till 40 now. And people are having babies at 50. And because our brains are telling us that's okay, that's right. And we believe it. But we're not listening to our bodies. We're completely disconnected from our bodies. As a sex therapist, I know this because everybody's coming into my office and they have no idea how to reconnect to that sexual energy. It's gone. It's gone for a lot of people. We're living in houses. We're living in nuclear families. We're living alone. We're cut off from community. We're cut off from our villages. And we're wondering why we're lonely. We're wondering why we're not able to conceive. We're wondering why we're obese and gaining weight. It's because we're living in a way that our body doesn't necessarily understand. Our mind completely understands it. Our mind has digested it. We've created all these amazing things. Our mind is amazing, but our bodies are stuck way back there in ancient times. So we've got to feed it what it wants. We've got to treat our bodies with a little bit more respect. That's kind of where I'm at with this. Like, we got to treat our bodies a little bit better. And so learning to listen to what your body's saying and what your body wants is, and I'm not being woo-woo about it. I'm literally like, you know, when you need to go to the bathroom, you know exactly when you need to go to the bathroom. Are you aware of what you ate that caused that? Or maybe it was an emotion. Like, getting in tune with what our brain thinks and helping it sort of like relegate it to the body, right? It takes time. It definitely takes time, but it's doable. It's doable. We're all able to do it. So anyway, that was a long spiel. I wanted to tell you about this particular medication that you should be wary of, but really it's a PSA about all pharmaceutical medications. There's a lot that you can learn, and, you know, learning and getting on, you know, like, we live in $1 billion supplement industry. Like, come on. Do you think our bodies really need all those supplements? They do when we live in this kind of like society, maybe when we're eating all these crazy processed foods, but maybe if we don't eat so many processed foods, I don't know. I'm not a nutritionalist. I'm just a therapist who encourages you to get back to your body and your intuition, however you need to do that, and get connected, do your own research, and, you know, learn to be the most authentic version of yourself if you can get back to that. Thanks.